Whatever Rams on by Weasel, this is Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Case 5, Rise from the Ashes. What I hope to be the last episode. I know I said that the last 3 ones, but I overestimated how quickly I could... I overestimated how quickly I could do this. Sorry. So let's get to this. Evidence and forgery. Let's see, what was it now? A jaw fragment? And a list? Well, I know you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when these pieces of evidence were discovered. They were found after Doc was convicted and they're worthless. There's no reason I participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Except it would. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? I'm investigating the crime scene. You should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I am a chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Oof. Indeed, I believe I will press charges so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. Alright, Edgy. In return, though. I know. That place, right? Hey, what are these guys telepathic? Well, when you're friends with someone for a long time, you kind of understand what they're talking about. For example, that place, they could mean a restaurant. Or a place they've hung out a lot. I don't know. For example, let's use Wrath as an example. If Wrath and I had a place, we always like to hang out. And I told him, meet me at that place? And you'd say, sure. You understand what I'm talking about. For example, we don't live in the same state. Anyway, evidence and forgery. Immediately. Indubitably. Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there is one large benefit you would have reaped. I was gonna say raped? Oof. From all this. Well, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh, the resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Ha ha ha! Ah, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without the case, I was already in line to become next Chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a while. That true, Edward? Yes, he was going to be made Chief anyway. Yeah! Careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, now it's out in the open. Edgy, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? By all means, please do. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Nothing in it for you? Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you better think again. You're right, you don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people, that's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. That's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone else? Yes. Also, it says here in the guide, he actually didn't feel sorry for Lana when Annabelle was injured. What an ass! So lean! True, you might not help anyone for their sake. But if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you positively determined to betray the Chief, and a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. That's not what I mean. Very well then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence? Mike Meekley! No. Officer Mike Meekley, sir! No. Goodman, no. Gumshoot, no. Angel Star, no. Lana. Na show. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky, the defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Sky fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her? Who would want to help her more than her own sister Lana? And as Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SO9 incident was resolved, Lana Sky was appointed chief prosecutor of the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. But how would he profit from all of this? He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. You mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh my god. Judge, you're an idiot. How do you still have a job? Oh wait, you must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind. Eminent Chief, you've assisted Lana Sky in forging evidence. Your motive to appoint her as chief prosecutor so you can control her. Right on, my boy, you have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? You have any proof of this? That I can show Lana? For example, has Lana testified that I've done such a thing? Lana? She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. Really, she testified against Gant. I'm afraid without any proof, all this amounts to is nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless that is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Which one would that be? Of course I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor had been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Worthy, you better watch with your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just what do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? Order! I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. Eh? This is an affront to the highest-ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? It's impossible! Your Honor, I was merely reiterating. Well, Mr. Edgeworth said it easier to understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. Looks like he's the one who decided to go through this. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder? Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. Alright then. Let's see what Mr. Wright got, and it better be good. Shows us evidence to tie his Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. Well... this is the ID card list. Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 777-7777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code. 7 digits? You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 777777777. The same as the remaining ID card number in the list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Order! Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing. The defense's search of my office was a violation of regulations, and I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it? You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime? What about it? I'm chief of police, whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you went in the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him? In days? Chief Gant, I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. Well, that day you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? This child's purpose is to determine Landeskai's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This child's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met with the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet with Chief Gant that day. Of course. The last item report can only be submitted to the Chief of Police. The only way he could have, no. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the Chief of Police. Yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it? How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective into the evidence room. I accompanied him? There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on, let me guess what you're gonna say next. I, the Chief of Police, murdered poor Goodman. Exactly. But wait, the Chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes, now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort. Objection. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your car was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. Ah! Oh my god! I love that animation! Chief Gant, you didn't. The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in the right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Atlanta and the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright. But the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did you manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office in the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. This time I thought it was a useless clue, just taking up space. How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. This, the parking stub. Because he called the dude over. He called Miles Edgeworth over, I meant. This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body. Parking stub? Miles Edgeworth? You mean... The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. Nah, it just magically appeared there. You mean I carried the victim's body? Precisely so. But wait, even you know. I didn't plan on returning to my office after the ceremony finished that day. But you did return. Tell me why. Ah! I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. So you see, what you were really taking to the prosecutor's office wasn't the screwdriver, but the victim's body in your trunk. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edwards' car. Yes, unless of course you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edwards to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation: to transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Scott. God, I'm hungry. Order! What's going on here? Is there no room for a rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not, wow, I never noticed that. Error. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It's a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe your time's up. My time's up? Sorry, Wright, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. You have to get going if we're gonna make the time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? The police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There's certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman? That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Oh, you think I had land to dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with. Say it again, Mr. Wright. Stephen Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Now, Mr. Wright, Your Honor, do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Ms. Skye dispose of his body? Do I have any concrete proof? Sadly, we don't. So you're showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor, at present I have no conclusive evidence. See, Edgy? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, righto? Seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Edgy, I'll leave the rest to you. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency. What? Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth. Another witness? In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. The Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else, one more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She might not be willing to tell the truth. But we can't stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth... Mike Meekins! No. I want a sky. The defendant, Ms. Lana Sky? She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Your task to dispose of the victim's body in accordance with a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. The court is now in Hold on! Huh? Chief Gant, thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana. She's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there'll be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. Ah, this isn't good. Of course, you never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alrighty then. I've got a lunch date to meet. Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess. February 25th, 2:04 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief, he's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe? I'm not a detective anymore. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Ah, don't worry, I've already decided where to work now. At your office. My office? Sure! Take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. What do you mean? Maya? Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, right? Remember what the judge said. But Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks? What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too? Emma, are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on? Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah, now I finally know what really happened. To think all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. She did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier than that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders, she must have shut herself up deep inside. To force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. And remember now, I knocked Mr. Marshall in that armor. I see. Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act. Spoke too soon. Emma, why don't you wait? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there. When Lana tells the truth. Let's go, Ray. It's time to end this. Last trial. Ow, my throat. Excuse me. Well, anyway. February 25th, 2:21 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. Now then, will the defendant, Ms. Lana Sky, please take the stand? Ms. Lana Sky, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Sky. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. The only chance we have to get Gant. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Itchy. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana! If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. I was going to say testimony. Three, four. You say you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at this crime scene? Seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutorial war knife is stuck in the victim's body. What? The prosecutor marshal died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasy all you want, Mr. Wright, but that'll never change that statement. You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that is so, what happened with the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It's probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. All just to protect me. So you found a scene like this. What did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, and removed the body. You planted the tip of Dark's... and then you moved the body... Let me read, damn it! But why? Why would you go through that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask... for the sake of others, why did you move the body? When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is... Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body... Pieces of the jaw that shattered during my rage frightened my brain. Pieces of the jar, you mean... Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I thought that it would be more expedient to move the body. So when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered in pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. You know, Marshall was dead and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during that struggle. I see. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed, but I have a feeling there's more to it than that. Must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. No, you didn't! If so, why is there a name written on it? Bullshit! Miss Skye, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I'm compelled to bring everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. Contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on the jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in its final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not have yet been broken before he died. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. Order! Order! Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well, the witness may now continue her testimony. Woo! I had a chill. Jar message in blood. Blood! I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in the blood? I was a chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was a real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Doesn't matter if we press anything. Because she's just gonna keep saying it every time. However, the contradiction lies here. Because not all the pieces were there. One of them was found in Gant's safe, remember? You lying sack of shit. Miss Guy, I believe this jar concealed the truth even you were unaware of. What? You found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the Chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There was something even more disturbing about the final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone ace detective. That may very well be. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I wasted an entire day. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Can you believe that? Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on the shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. Hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, the question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? No? Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar. He purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence? But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Sky believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark. Sparing Emma, and therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Guy became the Chief's puppet. Oh! No, I did it on my own! Please, sis, stop trying to protect the Chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't! It wasn't you, Emma! You didn't kill anyone! I don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that, coming from my own client. I guess you do seem like the type who likes to twist the truth. Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? Something wrong, Mr. Wright? Why not? Maybe right after all. What do you mean, Wright? So you do tell the foul lies then, Mr. Wright? Miss Sky, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking away Mr. Marshall. Miss Sky, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will if you tell the truth. Very well, I'll testify about what I really saw. Alright, the witness may testify once more for the final time. Witness's testimony. Actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the nearby floor. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it, but if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable, the body was impaled on the armor's sword. You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be as needed. I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Well, I must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana said she gave it to you this morning. I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. Well, the only thing we got this morning was this. Oh, that's cute. Aw. Nee? That's boring. Hey, there's a picture here. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything. And just like that, we have 4 pages of evidence. Fuck! Mr. Wright, that piece cut out from his vest, could that be the cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe? What's this? This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whoever's fingerprints those must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints. They're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Hey, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we shouldn't be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Actual crime scene. Eh. So, we'll do this in the final episode next time. Again, I'm sorry, I thought this would be. I was so close. There's only, like, not much left. We'll see. In the next episode. Till then, I'm Zombie Weasel. Stay zombie, and I am out.